With the unexpected market surge, are your account balance skyrocketing? You must be curious about what is happening and what kind of news has such power. This buzz is all about the crypto market winning over the SEC for the first time. How did this happen? It turns out that XRP has been legally determined not to be a security, meaning that the SEC's charges didn't hold up. So what is the story behind this and what does it mean for you and the entire crypto market? This video will reveal all the answers. This is Tommy and welcome back to my channel. Okay, first, let's take a look back at XRP and the SEC drama. Ripple Labs, a blockchain technology company. What did they do? They created a decentralized payment protocol to enable faster and more secure fund transfers to facilitate transactions on their platform. They introduced a cryptocurrency called XRP back in 2012. Well, however, things took a dramatic turn when the SEC entered the scene and filed a lawsuit against Ripple and its CEO 𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀𝘁 and co-founder Chris Larsen. This legal dispute has been ongoing for years. Okay, let's dive into what exactly happened. On December 22, 2020, the US Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) officially filed a lawsuit against Ripple, its CEO 𝗶𝗀𝗀𝘀 and co-founder Larsen. This news had a substantial negative impact, causing XRP's price to plummet, though many people continue to support it. Unlike regular market users, many investment firms, exchanges, and partners quickly broke up with Ripple due to concerns about the repercussions of being involved with an SEC lawsuit. In the lawsuit between XRP and the SEC, what were the stakes? If the SEC were to win, it would mean that XRP had been classified as a security, not a commodity. This could set a precedent for crypto lawsuits in the US, and all the future cases related to cryptocurrency refer to it. So its importance cannot be overstated. If a lawsuit against a cryptocurrency serves as a precedent, it will be extremely difficult for the crypto market to win future cases. So what is a security? Securities are financial products that can be bought and sold on securities market, like stocks, bonds, and funds. They represent a form of investment where investors can gain capital or returns by purchasing securities. They are regulated by the SEC, whose regulations are stricter than the Commodity Future Trading Commission. In the past, the SEC has classified many cryptocurrencies as securities. They all have one thing in common. They were issued through initial coin offering, that is ICO. An ICO is a method adopted by cryptocurrency companies to raise funds. If a company wants to raise enough funds to launch a new cryptocurrency or blockchain service, many will choose to obtain initial funding through an ICO. This attracts interested investors to participate in the purchase. However, not all cryptocurrencies use ICOs, like Bitcoin, which early didn't undergo an ICO process. Well, when raising funds through an ICO, crypto projects don't operate like traditional ones. Instead of showcasing a product or past performance and data analysis, they simply present a project overview, essentially a web page description, painting a rosy picture of the future, explaining what the project is about and the products it will develop and its future progression. Therefore, contributing funds could be considered an investment. If the project does well in the future, the token price will increase and then profits will be made. This matches the definition of a security in the United States. One key point in the SEC charges against Ripple was that XRP had not gone through the securities registration process. So how do we determine if something is considered a security? And is there a standard for it? Well, the mainstream way is the Howey test, which has 4 conditions. First, there must be an investment of money or assets. Second, it involves a common enterprise with shared interests. Third, investors expect profits. Fourth, investors rely on the efforts of others for those profits. For instance, when buying stocks like Nvidia, profits come from the efforts of their employees. If all 4 conditions are met, it is a security, and it must be reported to the SEC. However, the decentralized crypto market raises questions as it doesn't always rely on the third-party efforts. Still, the SEC argues that factors like buyback agreements and creators can be considered third-party efforts. This has been a continuous debate since 2020. In 2023, Ripple was accused by the SEC of selling unregistered securities, especially XRP. in 3 different ways. Let's break it down. The first way is internal payments to employees using XRP. The court rules that since the tokens were offered for free and Ripple didn't profit from it, it's not considered a security. The second way is selling XRP on the market to participants. Because buyers and sellers on the market are unknown to each other, the court determined it's not a security since it wasn't part of the initial offering. The third way is institutional fundraising, where Ripple pitched its vision to institutions, promising high profits. The court sees this as a security because institutional investors' profit comes from Ripple's efforts. It is important to know that the court's ruling depends on how XRP is circulated or sold, not the token itself. What we commonly hear about is international wire transfers. Well, let's break it down. Imagine you want to send money from country A to country B, but guess what? You might run into a few hurdles along the way. The first challenge is time. Depending on how much money you are sending, it can take a while for the funds to go from bank A to bank B. Why? Because bank A needs to verify that your money is legit and no sneaky stuff like fraud or money laundering. And let's be real, this verification process can take some time. We're talking from 1 day to a whole week. Time zone differences, bank hours, and risk checks all play a part in the delay. And there is the issue of cost. Banks usually charge you a fixed fee called the low sale-based fee for the transfer. On top of that, they may add an extra percentage fee. Why? Because converting your money into the currency of the other country isn't always straightforward and cheap for them. So those fees can really add up, and you might end up paying more than you expected. International wire transfers can be a bit of a hassle with their time-consuming verification process and those fees. So Ripple was introduced to solve this issue. It uses the decentralization and transparency of blockchain technology to build smart contracts for verification, solving the problem of time-consuming and error-prone manual transfer processing, while saving labor costs. Additionally, XRP serves as a governance token, ensuring high efficiency in on-chain transfer validation. Each transfer can be completed within few seconds, and the cost per transaction is tiny. This efficiency solves the issues of slow and expensive cross-border transfers. Because of its convenience, speed, and low cost, many banks hope to collaborate with Ripple, opening up the gate for large financial institutions to enter the crypto market. The latest progress on XRP. US Judge 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 has asked Ripple and the US SEC to schedule a potential settlement conference if they believe it could be highly effective at this time. Due to a busy court schedule, the judge also recommended scheduling 6 to 8 weeks in advance. Eleanor Therese noted immediately afterwards. However, this does not mean that Ripple and the US SEC will reach a settlement within 6 to 8 weeks. As previously reported by the Cointelegraph, the next phase of SEC's case against Ripple is about to progress. U.S. District Court Judge Annalisa Torres of the Southern District of New York submitted a document on July 17, transferring the case to the magistrate judge's office. Judge 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 will supervise the next stage of the trial. According to the court-issued revised magistrate judge transfer order, the next step will be general pre-trial proceedings, including scheduling disclosure of evidence, non-dispositive pre-trial motions, and settlement. Anyway, even though Ripple has scored a temporary victory, we should remain cautious about the current market. If the SEC appeals again, the market may speculate that the government's attitude towards crypto is extremely negative, potentially sparkling a new round of competition. Alright guys, that's it for today. How do you think the market will evolve? Will it rise or fall? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please slap the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate your support. See you guys in my next video.